Third and final NFL mock draft coming to you guys here today on the channel. This will be the last one of the 2023 cycle, as the NFL draft is only a few days away here, upcoming on this Thursday. I'm not going to waste much time. I'm going to go ahead and get right into this one. I am going to go ahead and give Carolina Bryce Young out of Alabama. I think he'll end up being the first overall pick in the draft. There is some smoke about Will Levis potentially being the number one guy, but as of right now, as I'm recording this, I'm still thinking Bryce Young is going to go number one. So we're going to go ahead and leave Bryce Young one for Carolina. There are some rumors right now out there about Houston not being overly enamored with any of the other quarterbacks outside of Bryce Young, which might lead them to not take quarterback at 2. But in this mock draft, I'm going to go ahead and give them the quarterback that seems to be rising up right now, and that's going to be Will Levis. I'm going to give them Will Levis there at 2, which is going to leave us here with Arizona at 3. And I think this is absolutely a spot where you could see a trade for another quarterback. Last time I had Arizona stick and pick, but this time I am going to have them go ahead and make a trade here. I'm going to have Arizona moving down with Tennessee. I'm going to have Tennessee moving up to jump Indianapolis in order to basically get the quarterback that they want. So Tennessee moves up here to 3 to overtake Indianapolis for the 3rd spot, and I'm going to have them take CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. I think if CJ Stroud is there at 4, that's who Indianapolis would go ahead and take. But in this case, Tennessee's not going to let that happen. They're going to go ahead and jump up and take CJ Stroud. And number 4 for Indianapolis has been a quarterback for me this entire draft process, and it's going to stay quarterback. I'm taking Anthony Richardson. We're doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, all 4 top quarterbacks going off the board: Bryce Young, Will Levis, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, in that order. Which now leaves Seattle here at 5, who basically gets to pick who they want. I mean, all the quarterbacks are off the board. Maybe they would have thought quarterback, but they're basically getting probably their top guy on their board, and that could be one of Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson. I'm going to go ahead and give them Will Anderson here out of Alabama, which brings us into Detroit. Detroit, they could go Jalen Carter, also could go Tyree Wilson. I think I'm going to stick and go with corner, which I still think was what they ended up doing. I'm going to give them Devin Witherspoon here out of Illinois, which is going to bring us to the 7th pick. Las Vegas, sorry about that. The Vegas Raiders here at 7 could go Jalen Carter, could go Tyree Wilson. Man, it's a tough, but there's a lot of talent on the board here. I'm going to go ahead and give him Christian Gonzalez, though. I'm going to stick DB. Vegas is going to take Christian Gonzalez here at 7. You're seeing Jalen Carter and Tyree Wilson fall down the board here a little bit with all the quarterbacks going there early. So now we got Atlanta at 8, and I think it makes a lot of sense here for Atlanta now. The way the boards fall, just go ahead and take Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech, get an edge rusher. They haven't had any good pass rush in the past few seasons. Go ahead and get a potential superstar in Tyree Wilson, edge out of Texas Tech, which leaves us here, Bears at 9. This has been an offensive tackle for me the whole way through. But in this situation, I'm going to give him Jalen Carter out of Georgia. I think this time in this mock draft, him falling down the board there, getting Jalen Carter there at 9 would be huge for Chicago. And I think if you're Philly here at 10, you would definitely potentially phone people about maybe moving down. There's a lot of talent on the board. All the offensive linemen are still on the board here. And there's going to be people jumping to want some of these offensive linemen. But I think Philly's in a spot where they could absolutely take offensive line. Maybe not tackle, but they could go offensive guard. And in this situation, I'm going to give him Peter Skoronski at Northwestern just because of the versatility. He can plug and play at guard for you right away, and then you can move him to the outside if you need to in the future. So Skoronski goes there at 10 to Philadelphia, which now puts Arizona back on the clock after trading down from 3 with Tennessee. And I think at 11 for Arizona, you might just end up and go best player available for you, and that could be Bijan Robinson. Arizona really needs help everywhere, so maybe Bijan would go there for them. Maybe they would still go offensive line. There's a lot of good offensive linemen on the board. But in this spot, I'm going to give him Nolan Smith out of Georgia, give him a really athletic edge to maybe, help up that defense, give them some athleticism coming off the edge for them. I think that'd be a good pick there for Arizona at 11, which brings us to Houston at 12. Could be an offensive lineman. They're still all on the board, but I'm going to go ahead and give the first receiver off the board, Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State, JSN going there at 12. Green Bay now at 13, and man, Green Bay obviously moves. They do the pick swap in New York after the Aaron Rodgers trade got finalized, and gosh, it's just, I don't know what to do here. There's still a lot of good options on the board. the way when the quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, and 4, a lot of talent just falls down the draft, and that's what seems to be happening here as I'm recording this because we're just kind of going into this blind. I did not prepare this one. The last couple I kind of had prepared out a little bit. This one I'm kind of just going as we go. And 13 here for Green Bay. I had him take Lucas Van Ness in a previous one, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give him Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. Just seems like a Green Bay Packer. I think I said that in the last one, but Lucas Van Ness, he just seems like a Green Bay Packer. Which brings us to New England here at 14. I think this is really, I mean, it absolutely could be an offensive line spot. They do need Isaiah Wynn's gone. They could plug and play a tackle for them. I think they have Riley Reef now, but, he's on the other side of 30. Trent Brown's on the other side of 30. Could be an offensive tackle here, but I've been saying it for a long time. Bijan Robinson is a guy that's going to go in the teens. I'm a believer. He could go as high as like 8. There's a rumor about the Falcons taking him at 8. I'm going to have him go to New England here at 14. Bijan goes to New England there at 14. Helps out Mac Jones. They're trying to help out Mac Jones as much as they can. The Patriots like to run the football. Why not go and get maybe the best running back in the class? Probably the best running back in the class. One of the best running backs we've seen probably as a prospect since Saquon Barkley. Which brings us to New York here at 15. The Jets, obviously, like we said, the pick swap. They'd had the pick swap there with Green Bay. And, I think offensive tackle is their biggest need. But they're falling down the board, so why would they not? Paris Johnson out of Ohio State there to New York, which is going to bring us up to the Commanders here at 16. And there's so much offensive tackle talent on the board still. I could see Washington moving down here potentially. The Washington, they need spots everywhere. I think a team would give them a lot here to maybe move and take offensive tackle. And I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm actually going to have Washington, the Commanders, trade down in this spot. So Commanders here are moving down. And the team I'm having move back into the first round is the Chicago Bears. I think with the offensive tackles on the board, the Bears, I'm just going to flip picks. I know it'd be a lot more than this. The Bears would probably have to give up a future first for sure. Maybe a future second and a couple maybe even picks in this draft to get back in the first round. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. I think the Bears would consider moving into the first round with these offensive tackles on the board, and Broderick Jones is going to be my selection here. Broderick Jones goes 16 to Chicago, moving back up into the first round, which I think is going to leave us with, Darnell Wright going here at 17 to the Steelers. Steelers need offensive tackle help as well. You've seen the offensive tackles fly now. There's a lot of teams that are offensive tackle needy, and I think that makes sense for all the sides. So that brings us to the Lions here at 18. And Lions, I could double dip here and go defense. Kind of what I'm thinking. I've had Kalijah Kancey go in the spot before, but I think I'm going to switch it up this time. Could go, we went with Witherspoon earlier. I don't think they would double up at corner. Ryan Branch, maybe, but I think I'm going to go offense. I'm going to take a tight end. They traded TJ Hawkinson to Minnesota last year for a second-round pick. I'm going to go ahead and give him Dalton Kincaid here out of Utah. Versatile tight end for them. Give him another weapon for their offense. And you can see the Lions are just building up their team. I mean, they might be the favorites in the NFC North this year, especially with the Rodgers trade officially finalized. It's going to bring us here to Tampa Bay at 19. And Tampa Bay's kind of in a situation where I think this could be a tank year for Tampa Bay. They still have a lot of good talent on their team, but very quarterback needy team at this point. I don't think Baker's going to answer. Kyle Trask, he'd have to surprise everybody for him to be the answer, it feels like. Tampa Bay at 19. I'm going to have them move down here, actually. I think they would move down to get some more assets, and I think this is a spot where you could see Kansas City. I'm going to have Kansas City move up. Just going to flip the picks, at least for now. There'll be more that goes into it. We all know this. Kansas City's going to move up here at 19. I think Kansas City's going to want a receiver when they move up here at 19. And I'm going to give them Zay Flowers out of Boston College. Give Kansas City another weapon for Patrick Mahomes. I think that would be a great move for Kansas City to move up. Great move for Buccaneers as well to go back and get some more assets. Going to bring us up to Seattle here at 20. In the way the board has fell, I think the corners are just such... Corners are the best players on the board, and I think that's what I'm going to have to do for Seattle here. Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State is going to be my selection there for Seattle to get one of the better corners on tape for sure, and Joey Porter Jr. Brings us up to the Chargers here at 21, and I think the way the Chargers team has looked here and what they might need, I think Jordan Addison gives them a great piece. It gives them a guy that can do a little bit of everything for them. play in the slot, play on the outside as well. And I think that gives the versatility that where you can move Keenan Allen around as well. And, you know, with both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they've had their injury concerns. Why not get a young guy in there? And Jordan Addison, the versatility to him really stands out to me. Baltimore now at 22. This has been a wide receiver for me. It's been Bijan for me. I think the way their team is, though, I think the way the boards fell, I think Deonte Banks out of Maryland makes sense. They don't really have any corners outside of Marlon Humphrey that have true lockdown potential. And Deonte Banks has that. The athleticism's off the charts. I think Deonte Banks at 22 would be good for him and good for Baltimore. Minnesota at 23. It's been Kancey for me. It's been receiver for me. It's been corner for me. I think in this spot, I'm thinking Emmanuel Forbes, maybe Cam Smith. I'm going to do Quentin Johnson, though, at TCU. I'm a Viking fan. Don't know how I feel about Quentin Johnson at the moment. I'm kind of torn on how much if I like Quentin Johnson or not. I think Minnesota would be a good fit, though, for Quentin Johnson because with how much attention Justin Jefferson gets, Quentin Johnson doesn't need to come in and be an alpha receiver, which we all know he isn't right now. He might be able to develop into that, but right now he's not that. And with as much attention as Justin Jefferson gets, I think if Quentin Johnson were to go to Minnesota, that'd be a pretty good fit for him for his development's sake. Gonna bring us here to Jacksonville now at 24, and this has been Brian Branch for me the whole way. It's gonna continue to be Brian Branch for me. I just think that's how the board perfectly fits for him, and that's gonna now bring us down to 25, where we have the Giants. It's been receiver, it's been offensive line. I've seen safety go here as well. Osiris Torrance, John Michael Schmitz, Steve Avila. I'm going to go ahead and give him John Michael Schmitz again. I did it last time. I'm going to do it again. I think that's who they're going to end up taking at 25. If the board falls like this, we'll have to wait and see. If the receivers go at the pace they've been going in this one, I think offensive line will end up being the selection for New York at 25. Cowboys here at 26. Could be receiver, could be running back, could be tight end. They lost Dalton Schultz. I'm going to go tight end. I'm going to give him Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. I like Michael Mayer a lot as a player. A little bit bigger, a little more physical than Dalton Kincaid, but still a really good tight end. I mean, more of a prototypical NFL tight end size and ability, which I think would be good for Dallas. Dalton Schultz leaves, heads over to Houston, so you get Michael Mayer there to plug and play for him. Buffalo at 27. I'm going to do something I think I've already done in a mock draft. I'm going to give him Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. The wide receivers are going. Why not get a guy that just seems to be a burner, always open downfield? Give Jalen Hyatt there to Buffalo at 27. It's going to bring us to Cincinnati here at 28. They lose Hayden Hurst in free agency. Tight ends are going. Why not give him Darnell Washington here? Georgia, the versatility, the run blocking ability, the athleticism, the size. Darnell Washington to Cincinnati would be a lot of fun for that offense. Going to bring us now to New Orleans here at 29. And I could see New Orleans going a lot of ways. I like Myles Murphy here. I like Mozzie Smith here. I like Kalijah Kancey here. I even like Brian Bresee here. I think I'm still stuck on them going edge in this spot. I've gone B.J. Ojulari here for them. I think I'm going to switch it up, though. I'm going to give him Keon White out of Georgia Tech. He's in the green room. I think there's a really good chance he goes first round. It's not just because he's in the green room, but I think Keon White could be one of those guys that sneaks into the first round along with B.J. Ojulari, along with Adewariye, Will McDonald. There's a lot of guys here that could sneak in the first round, and I haven't had Keon White go. This time I have Keon White go. Going to bring us to Philadelphia here at 30. Had them go Peter Skoronski at 10, if you guys remember. So this time around, I am going to go ahead and give them Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh. I think if Kalijah Kancey's there at 30, why would you not do it if you're Philadelphia? It gives you a guy play right next to Jordan Davis. Gives you the exact opposite of what Jordan Davis is as a defensive tackle. You get the huge bruiser and big body in Jordan Davis, the run stuffer, and now you get an elite interior pass rusher in Kalijah Kancey. That'd be awesome for Philadelphia. If you Philadelphia and you walk away with Skoronski and Kalijah Kancey, that'd be a pretty good haul for you in the first round. Which is going to bring us to Tampa Bay at 31, who moved back from 19 with Kansas City. Kansas City moves up and takes Zay Flower in this mock. Now Tampa Bay's back down at 31. And in this spot, quarterback. You know what? I'm going to do it. Hendon Hooker at 31. I'm going to do it. Hendon Hooker at 31 for Tampa Bay. I've seen a lot of smoke about Hendon Hooker going first round. A lot of GMs seem to be like Hendon Hooker. I don't know. I mean, I get it in a way, but he's 25, coming off an ACL injury. We'll have to wait and see. Full results for you guys here in a second. Hold on for me. Full results here. Bryce Young, Will Levis, DJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. The quarterbacks go 1 through 4. Then you get the defenders: Anderson, Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Tyree Wilson. Jalen Carter falls down to 9 to Chicago. Skaronski goes 10 to Philly. Nolan Smith at 11. JSN, Lucas Van Ness, Bijan Robinson, Paris Johnson. Bears move back up, take Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Darnell Wright to Pittsburgh. Kincaid to Detroit at 18. Zay Flowers goes to Kansas City after they move up to take him. Then you get a couple of the DBs, plus Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson there at 23 to Minnesota. Brian Branch to Jacksonville, like I do every single time. John Michael Schmitz to New York. Michael Mayer to Dallas. Hyatt to Buffalo. Darnell Washington out of Georgia to Cincinnati. Keon White moves into the first round in this one. He goes to New Orleans. Kalijah Kancey finds his way to Philadelphia at 30. And then Hendon Hooker, the last pick in the first round in Tampa Bay. Host final mock draft on the channel for the 2023 cycle. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment anything down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking regarding the NFL draft. If you're excited for it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.